How many types of media are there really? How complex can it get? And how do I make sense of it? I'll take this one.
Yeah, so why don't you dive in first?
So there are many. There are many that seem obvious up front, like display, for example, and paid search also. There are also a lot more types of media, especially in the healthcare industry, that can be more effective depending on what your objectives or strategy is, such as different email type executions, e-details, which are literally you take a core visual aid and you digitize it in a way that an HCP or somebody else can go through it at some point online. But even those such as paid search can get pretty complex.
Yeah.
We had an example a couple years ago with a client who had multiple brands, all in the same category. It was a diabetes category. And what we had found as we were working in all of them, and from a paid search perspective, they were all bidding on the same keywords.
It was a mess.
And so everyone was bidding each other up to the point where the company was paying so much in paid search because they were competing with themselves. So we had to go through a full analysis, get all of the brand teams together in one room and talk about who gets priority over which categories and keywords. From a strategic perspective, which category and keyword makes sense for which brand and why, and then just assign them. And that led us to, we were able to make the search buys way more efficient for a lot of them. But like as we were talking before, that's only one tactic. That's one of many that will be on the plan. And even that tactic itself required that much in-depth discussion, research, analysis, and frankly strategy to actually make work.
Well, and to be honest, even taking a step back, that's a single channel, right? So let's think about, how has media evolved over the last 10 years, 15, 20 years, right? We've gone from media being relatively simple to, hey, I need to be in newspapers, magazines, maybe broadcast, right? To now, with this emerging explosion of options, especially from a digital perspective, you can't just rely on a clearinghouse to go ahead and run all of that media. You need that qualified tactician at the table to say, here are all the channels that are available to us. Here's the analysis that suggests which ones we need to be in, at what times, but most importantly for the purposes of our discussion, what then types of placements, sizes of creative, types of execution are going to be needed to fulfill on that plan. Because the media tactician is the one that comes to the table to say, okay, this is great that that's your qualified audience. Here's how we're going to reach them through all these channels. These are the types of assets you need. Now that's going to go back and inform the creative to say, okay, now we've got our concept, now I know exactly what to build. And that's the feedback loop that is missing so often in these types of media engagements.
Yeah, and we've seen it in both ways, where you have the creative determining what creative is going to be built, and then it goes to the media team to fill out, to basically build a flowchart according to that.
That's
We've
right.
also seen it the other way, where we've had the media team building out a flowchart and then sending to the creative agency, here are the assets we need. Neither one is perfect,
right,
because neither one works all that well, because you're still missing the idea of, well, what about those ideas that you could have come together and create that make more sense? And even to one-up you on it also, you have to be able to measure all of it. So if you're going to start in the beginning and talk about what different types of media tactics make the most sense, you also have to be able to prove that they worked.